Summoner's Rift. Seconds until minions spawn. Minions have spawned. Has been slain. enemy has been slain. destroyed a turret.
Not the kind of game you'd be into, but I've been obsessed with Project Zomboid. It's so good.
I don't like games that don't have an ending. I know that a lot of people disagree with me on that, but I checked. I would have played it enough for that. I'm not saying links right now, bro.
Needs to fucking stop, and if that means like black Antifa fucking police out there mowing down dipshit protesters that think that they can be us. I'm glad to see what Ben Shapiro's house will look like in 2030.
Probably a lot better than ours.
Shut down. Shut down.
We're just going to leave it at this for power generation for now. The last thing that I want to connect is a moon pool, which I know are large. It needs to have a lot of space.
What is a tip?
When I find out, I'll let you know. Oh. How does this look, guys? Does this look acceptable? I can connect it out from here.
Then respond to the fucking argument rather than characterizing what I...
I feel like I've heard these words.
The war needs to fucking stop. If that means Nazi
What is happening?
down dipshit Russians who think they can invade, then at this point they have my blessing.
Okay, we need quartz. Like a lot of it. I think this will be the last thing we do today. We're going to build the base up. That's good, though, because once we have this done, it's going to be a lot easier to just, like, fucking sit around in the future. No joke, we gotta stay
Why are so many young white male leftist gamers so emo about US politics?
situation is pretty bad. I'm getting complicated question.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Warning. 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
That's complicated. Difficult to get that motivation when you feel that everything is so stacked against you. But you got it anyway. I have a hard time finding it's like the most unfulfilling. I've not seen that President cough, but it's not surprising to me. Buy guns.
Warning. 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Hello, Spanner on Head. Where the hell is... Quartz? You can just use oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. That'll help.
What are you, a liberal?
No, I'm not.
fluid
The
intake.
situation is bad, almost worse than essential, but the
That's true. Things have never been as stable as they've been. That perception of stability even if it was a lie, having the illusion taken away from them be quite upsetting. You know what? I agree with the people from the previous one. Now that this area doesn't intimidate me, it is frustrating.
Warning. 30 seconds of oxygen remaining. Oxygen.
All right. That should be enough quartz to do a good bit of what we want to do. I'm going to start with the sea truck docking bay because that's the most immediately practical thing we get. Why do there are? Well, I'm using very basic ones. There will be an upgrade later. Water.
Love the streams. Good to have you back. Also, Carol,
Vital
wake up.
signs
Please
stabilizing.
wake up.
Right.
You are in a coma, and this is the only way we could send you a message. We love you.
Memes aside, thank you very much. Titanium ingot, advanced wiring kit, or glass.
The leader of the Templar separatist party and 10 other MNAs refused to pledge allegiance to the state. Maybe that's why they treated the
Basically. Half my donations are red. Oh, Neandroid Cell, that's because the TTS limit is $5. Sorry, I didn't say that explicitly because it's been the case for the past, year or so. But I read it. You can refund them if you want. I love you. This is below zero real people's games. Okay. Huh.
Pico Hut.
Thank you for the gift of stuff.
Alright bro, understood lol.
Oh god, man, I don't know. I have to think about it. Ooh. Yeah! Oh! It splits off the head? Oh, that's so cool! Oh my god, that's so deluxe! It just cracks it open like a fucking egg. And you can walk inside. Cats hate closed doors this way. They like having control over their doors. Need to add some structural stability. I need more titanium, and I need some lithium. We're gonna add stability thingies here. I have to go on the side. Ah, yes. L glass is like 2 glass. We need that. They're adding the sea truck and related equipment to Subnautica 1. Really? They're going to retroactively add the sea truck to Subnautica 1? I'm not sure how I feel about that. Okay. Up. And up. And... What do you prefer, the sea truck or the Cyclops? The Cyclops is really cool. I don't mean nothing is top right now. I like to think about it, Sam. I haven't really considered. 4 titanium, 2 copper ore, 1 gold, 1 table coal. 4 titanium, 2 copper, 1 gold. Okay. I think that's part of the fun, Jimmy.
A scanner will allow you to survey the surrounding region for fragments and material resources like copper.
That might actually be it.
Good to see you back. I wanted to know for a while
Great. Oh, it actually picks up some diamond down there.
about 2 hours behind on the VOD. Has anyone made the obvious Dom Nautica joke yet? Whatever. Here's $5.
Oh, they have.
Emergency power only.
We need more power. Yeah, we need better power. Oh, I can't even activate this
How
with
much of a
powers
threat
now.
do you think Elon poses when it comes to silencing the left on Twitter?
I talked about it earlier in the stream, but I'm not too concerned. Dina, it gets there.
This shit is bananas. BANANAS. A few times I've been around that track, so it's not just gonna happen like that cause I ain't no hollaback girl.
That's true.
Warning. Emergency power only. Oxygen production offline.
Look here. So chat, I have cleanse, you know? I have cleanse, right? So something you can do when you have cleanse, chat, is that you can actually intentionally block skill shots like Thresh Hook and TF Gold Card and stuff for your teammate and then cleanse it, and that way none of you get hit. And that's what I did. Look at this. Look. I know that like he has no flash. Now he has no flash. And like look at this. Like this hook would hit the Amumu, right? So I walk in front of it, I tank it for Amumu, I cleanse it, and now we're both fine. Now we both survive. But then he jumps in again, and then he dies. Like bro, I wasted my cleanse just to save you, man. But dude, these players, like, mechanically are not bad. They're just really fucking dumb. That's the thing, they're just really, really dumb. But like, if they knew fundamentals that I know, they would just be high rank. And that's the reality of League. Most players nowadays are good mechanically. They know how to use their keyboard. They just don't know how to use their brain. Inhib that you can take. Well, first of all, you should never take inhibs before 18 minutes. That's bad, because there's not really gonna be an objective. There's no Nasher, and you're just giving them free XP and free gold. Never do that, okay? But the best inhib you can take is bot inhib. Do you know why? Because Baron spawns at 20 minutes, and bot inhib is the furthest away from Baron, right? Which means that they need to have someone bot lane, and if they don't have teleports or any globals, then it's gonna be 45, because someone has to be bot lane to clear waves. And if they want to run to Baron, they have to run a really long distance, right? The first thing I look at in a man is his heart. The fact that his tits are in front of his heart is not my fault. This is the most cursed Twitter page ever. Daily Aphelios, this is so fucking cursed. What? Oh. No!
Razor continues his chase. Faker's trying to get out. Goes into the Drake pit. Hilly's coming around now too. Faker fighting back.
What? Wait, that's so genius. What? He would 100% be dead otherwise. Chat, he has no flash. He would 100% be dead if he doesn't do this, brother.
Pit. Hilly's coming around now too.
What
Faker
the fuck, dude?
fighting back.
That is
Using the
so
Drake
five-head,
on
man.
Faker here in the river. Humanoids coming to help. Coming around.
Because, like, if he doesn't do this, then Poppy will just go into him and then press W, right, around her. And then if he dashes with Poppy W, he will get stuck and he can't dash over the wall. And he has no flash either, so he can't just flash over the wall. So, in fact, if he doesn't do this, he would 100% be dead. Wow. This is low elo tier list. So they're saying that Nila is OP, Swain is OP, Heimerdinger is OP, and Seraphine is OP in the low elo. Huh? Okay, I can agree with Misfortune. I can agree with that. She's really simple and she's really good. I can definitely agree that Misfortune is like really like the best ADC probably in low elo, right? The average low elo player to play Heimerdinger unless they're one trick. If they're a one-trick Hammerdinger, yeah, sure. They can make it work. Swain OP, no. So I agree with these two, but these three, hell no. Makes no sense. Veigar S tier. I don't really agree. Like, I've said this before, but I think Veigar is a champion where you need to... Like, the Veigar player needs to be smart about the game. Karthus, I agree. I think Karthus is good. He's simple to play, and enemies won't dodge your shit, while you can easily land it if you have some expertise on Karthus. So this is good, right? I think this is good. No sense, no sense, no sense. Brand A tier makes no fucking sense. Should be D tier. Completely garbage champion. I swear to God, Pro Guides is the most garbage shit ever. Like, garbage, bro. Like, their tier lists or bottom of the barrel. Nah, mate, guys. If you guys want good tier lists, just watch my tier lists. Like, come on. Like, what the fuck is this shit? Hi, meeting your support is OP tier? Huh? Chat. Heimerdinger support is OP tier. Heimerdinger. Wait. So let me get this. So they put the easiest support D tier in a low elo tier list. The easiest support that anyone can play. Who the hell makes this tier list? Like, don't play for kills, guys. Play for objectives. Like, play for turrets. Play for herald. Play for jungle camp. Play for vision. Play for drakes. Play for baron. You know what I mean? Don't play for kills. If anything, you get kills so you can get objectives. That's how you get objectives, like, easier. But in low elo, you don't even need to get kills to get objectives because people don't give a fuck about objectives. I played against Viper and Mako in bot lane, right? I had an awful support and I played against Viper and Mako and they played Lucian Nami when Lucian Nami was the best. Guess what happened after? Guess how big my asshole was. Like, dude, I've never been that fucking stomped in my entire life. Like, I've not gotten that stomped ever, straight up. Like, I felt like a fucking bronze player when I played against them. Like, holy shit, man. They are so good together. Like, Viper is the best ADC I've played against in my entire life. He's better than Gumayushi as well. He's better than Guma, he's better than anyone I've played against. Yeah, because now the wave won't freeze on the turret. That's like a really smart thing to do, but I guess. So if you ever know that there's no jungler here and enemy bot is not here, you should always do that. If the wave is not gonna like crash, always like walk like that. Or execute. If you can execute, you can't execute.
Are you one of those dangerous guys? Do you lick the edges of the batteries?
You're baiting so hard right now. You're fucking baiting. Yeah, I actually, I'm like retarded. I eat batteries for breakfast and dinner.
My.
Two different ones as well. I eat crayons. Yeah, I eat
Which one is your favorite crayon flavor? Mine's purple.
Oh, I love blue. Blue is amazing. Jesus Christ, man. This is the most disgusting game I played today. Like, I mean, this is... You know, chat, do you guys know that if you win a lot of games in a row, Riot will intentionally place you in a fucked up team, brother. It's actually like a fact. Games in a row, game I played today. Like, I mean, this is... You know, chat, do you guys know that if you win a lot of games in a row, Riot will intentionally place you in a fucked up team, brother. It's actually like a fact. Hylissang now has the most total deaths in world's history. He also has the least games played out of the top 10. Dude, Hylissang is such a fucking trash player, and it's worse. Bro, Hylissang has 217 deaths over 53 games. That's 4 deaths average. He has a 4 death average every game on world stage in professional play. That's a lot of deaths, bro. For instance, guys, Faker had... I'm getting body.
League of Legends has one of the most toxic communities in the entire gaming industry. That much is common knowledge. It's so prevalent that chances are every other match you play, there's always that one person who has anime protagonist syndrome and believes they're the only one who can summon Exodia, and that everyone is trash beneath them, yada yada yada. Competitive games can get quite heated. Any video game community breeds a few special snowflakes here and there with bad attitudes and giant egos to mask their insecurities, but what is it about League of Legends that makes it everyone's go-to example of a game that destroys their faith in humanity? About a month ago, I brought up the topic of whether or not Riot should bring back the tribunal, which is something a lot of players have been advocating for in light of how it seems like the League community is progressively getting worse and worse every year, with no signs of improvement. There are so many videos, tweets, and streams of top players and personalities voicing their grievances towards Riot, who continuously makes veiled excuses and empty promises towards handling the issue.
And I know this for a fact. I obviously don't work at Riot. I don't have the statistics, the numbers to back it up, but I think you can ask almost anyone, and you will get a resounding agreement that the player base has become more toxic, a lot more griefers, a lot more people just like straight up running it down, inting games, going AFK because someone annoyed them or whatever, even regardless of a reason.
I think the game is unplayable, not because of the game itself, but because of the player base. We talked about this before. Riot has posted there's major issues with that, which just making this game so difficult to play on a daily basis. Like, in all honesty, it's just getting absolutely just ridiculous. And the fact that Riot is just barely doing anything about it, they're just like,
I'm so sick of this. Next the game! Not playing this shit! I'm so addicted! So I can't quit!
Myself included, I find it almost inconceivable that it's been over a decade and Riot still doesn't have an effective and consistent way to punish disruptive player behavior. That's where this video comes in. Just a few days ago, I made a community post asking my viewers what they think the causality behind this deterioration of player behavior is, and I want to discuss my own thoughts about why League of Legends is so toxic. Before I begin, I want to clear up a potential misunderstanding. Even though it's hard to tell the difference, I truly believe 90% of players in League are not actually toxic people. We are humans. Sometimes people have a bad game and get tilted out of their minds and spam GG FFA team jungle difference. It happens. Sometimes a person had a bad day at work and wanted to unwind by playing some League, which isn't a great idea in the first place, only to lash out that bottled up rage towards other people. Does that excuse their actions? No. But I think it's important to acknowledge that no one is a saint. Everyone has bad days, everyone has a breaking point. But there's a huge difference between a person getting upset at their jungler for missing smite and someone blatantly trying to lose a game because you're all trash, stay hard, stuck at W. It's not black and white. Some infractions are worse than others. Anyway, on to the problems. First and foremost, even though League of Legends is objectively an amazing game in concept, as in the gameplay premise, the mechanics and whatnot, that's also where it kind of backfires on itself. Unlike other competitive games, League of Legends is team-based. It says 5 players against 5 other players. But unlike other team games where one person can easily solo carry a game through skill alone, League requires everyone to work together because no matter how bad a champion is, they can't actually 1v9, it's just statistically impossible. 4 abilities and passive mathematically will lose to 20 abilities or 5 passes just through sheer skill, rounds, etc. This means players have no choice but to trust and help each other to achieve victory. The vast majority of games are won because all 5 players collaborate in unison to accomplish a win condition. Conversely, that means all it takes is one person to decide either to not cooperate or intentionally sabotage the team in order to lose the game, which is also known as grouping. As it currently stands, the game places too much reliance on everyone doing well together and not individuals stepping up and carrying the team. I'm a strong believer in a golden system formula, that is, 40% of games are guaranteed wins, 40% of games are guaranteed losses, and 20% of games are decided by you. Theoretically, it makes sense. Since there are 5 players, the most you can ever contribute is 20%. You just have to hope the rest of the team can cover the remaining 80. Half the time they do, half the time they don't. That's partly why 95% of all accounts have between 40 to 60% win rates, even in Challenger. No matter how bad a player is, they will usually just stay around 50%. Even though a 60% win rate is more than enough to climb, it still means 40% of your games will be hopeless losses, regardless of how perfectly you play. The fact that a player can only do so much can be extremely frustrating. We as humans value control. We like it when we have agency in something, when we have the ability to change the outcome of something, not just in video games, but in all facets of life. Finance, relationships, ambition, education, etc. Control equals stability, and stability reduces stress. League is a very stressful game because there's not that much personal agency a player has from match to match. Even 80% win rate duo Smurfs or Master Yi Terra Gold Funnel duos still have to trust in their remaining 3 teammates to at least hold their own. That frustration can often lead to flame or toxicity. Adding on to that, what little control an individual has can be wrestled from them before they can even exercise it. The reason so many people say FF15 the moment their team loses the first river skirmish is because oftentimes that's all the only team needs to steamroll all the yours. League has reached such an early game focused state that any mistake you make is punished tenfold, not just in your lane but against everyone else, which further emphasizes the first problem, where all it takes is one person on your team messing up to potentially destroy any hope you have of winning. Not all the time, it's season 11 and people still do Baron throws, but nowadays you see 10k gold leads by 20 minutes, whereas back in season 3, 4, 5, and 6, you would only really see 5 or 6k at best. Top lane, for instance, is the most snowbally it's ever been. Getting solo killed even once means you could lose a minion wave and 2 tower points. Now all of a sudden you're down 600 gold and the jungler abandons you because you're a lost cause. Ever since the solo lane XP change, top laners have the fastest leveling rate out of all roles. That's why by the time ADC and supports reach level 11, top laners might already be level 14. What this means is that losing minion experience can be that much more penalizing because even one wave can set you back a full level. Levels matter way more than kills. The average gold value gained in terms of base stats and abilities is about 580. This means if you're down 2 levels, you're down well over a grand, and that's not considering the extra gold they have with CS lead and kills. Jungle's the same thing. You get double crabbed or counter jungled, boom, you officially lost Dragon and Rift Herald priority, and likely will be down 2 levels for the rest of the game. Everything else becomes exceedingly more difficult, because the enemy jungler is now so far ahead of you that they can probably steal all your camps too, which worsens your disadvantage. And then of course, as jungle mains you have to deal with the mental pressure of your teammates blaming jungle diff. A kill or 2 in mid lane may not exactly doom your chances of survival 1v1, but if the enemy laner is someone with high roaming pressure like Pantheon, Talon, Katarina, or Twisted Fate, they're more than likely going to snowball their lead elsewhere. And lastly, the bot lane. Even though bot lane has the lowest experience scaling, 2 champions gain an advantage. If you score double damage, your Bard, Leona, or Alistar can get a heavy boots and roam around the map. ADCs struggle the hardest with coming back because many of them generally have poor mid games, since they don't have a high enough crit chance to consistently push out their DPS. That becomes even less possible when you're entering 20 minutes with only Kraken Slayer and boots. There are so many ways any person on either team can mess up that triggers a downward spiral to defeat. It's much harder for you to come back from behind than it is to generally keep it, because unlike fighting games, getting killed means the enemy comes back even stronger than you, which makes it more difficult. Probably, let's be real, I guarantee 99% of people won't admit it, but almost everyone in League of Legends, myself included, has an overinflated opinion of themselves as a player. We see it all the time. 2000 games Hearthstone Diamond 4 talking trash to another 2000 games Hearthstone Diamond 4, despite being in the exact same game. I talked about this a little in the Tribunal video, where everyone believes they're better than their peers, which leads to a clash of egos. Thinking you're challenger and that you know more about the game than everyone else is a recipe for disaster when you come across another person with that exact same attitude. Moreover, players regard their own mistakes a lot less critically than their teammates. If your bot lane gets double killed, that can tilt you right away. But if you get solo killed in top lane, you might think, it's fine, I can get over it. This especially happens for mistakes in the late game. If your support gets picked off while trying to ward, that might tick you off a lot. But when you get caught out, you don't think it's that big of a deal, even if your death resulted in the enemy constantly Baron. Almost everyone thinks like this, unconsciously. Not necessarily due to arrogance, rather, it's a lot harder to be introspective than it is to shift blame. The moment people lose a game, their first instinct is to think about what their teammates did wrong rather than what they did wrong, even though that's the only thing they can control. I'm not saying all people, but most people. It's a coping mechanism. Speaking of egos, in any roster-based competitive game, there's a philosophy that whatever character you play is more than just a colorful avatar. It's an extension of the self. People who play support might enjoy being team players, or those who main fighters love the feeling of being this Hulk and Vulcan raid boss. Or Zoe mains. I don't know what that might be an indication of, but moving on. Because champions in League tend to inspire stereotypes, more specifically in player performance and behavior, that can also give rise to a toxic atmosphere. For example, Union players might get accused of being low effort, low skill, cheese abuser, room temperature IQ, things like that. The most problematic instance of character stereotyping, I think, is that of Enchantress supports. League players can be very sexist at times, and target Enchantress support lanes with even remotely feminine sounding names, calling them e-girls and stuff like that. But I think that sort of champion prejudice is more a result of social gatekeeping than League of Legends in particular, but it still is a contributing factor to the overall toxicity of the game. In many cases, players are associated with champions that clash, and new people play players, because Rift players getting the neck names for playing a brand versus champion. Continuing on, currently, the report and punishment systems are practically non-existent. The only automated player discipline mechanism that works consistently is the chat moderator. Usually, if a person says key red flags or flames in chat by saying like the N-word or telling a person to delete system 32 in their life or using slurs, they get hit with a chat restriction. That's the most common punishment we see today. What about other punishments, like intentional feeding or overturning or breathing? There are countless records of people calling out bots that intend feed 20 beats in a row and still receiving no punishment. The issue is that it's really difficult to actually tell the difference between a person who is tilted or bad at the game and a person soft in tank. Machine algorithms aren't advanced to notice whether or not a person is win trading because they can play just competently enough to not trade any wrongs. Obviously, it's but But what about the 116 teammate who's still trying to do it? I know it's a meme at this point, but he or she could just genuinely be having a bad game. If I were to play devil's advocate, in Riot's defense, it's not exactly a good idea to assume guilt on players for having an unlucky match. If they decide to be more aggressive in their actions, it could lead to many false positives and a lot of innocent players banned. Remember, ego runs rampant in this community. People report each other left and right for super petty reasons sometimes, like refusing to give blue buff or accidentally getting caught out. Those are not bannable offenses no matter how many games a player loses because of them. I'm just giving them the benefit of the doubt because, again, even though there are blatant cases of win trading, cheating, or trolling like that Twitter screenshot I showed you earlier, the rest of the several hundreds of thousands of cases per day are stuck in a gray area. There's no real blanket statement solution to figure this part out. All the same, Riot has to do something because the longer they take to lay down the law on these issues, the more it instigates a domino effect. What's happening right now is that the trolls, enters, and win traders are ruining games for everyone with no consequence. They get away scot-free. Maybe 1 or 2 get banned here and there, but the other several tens of thousands of players just queue up again. This makes the victims, the rest of the community, incredibly frustrated, which then shortens a lot of players' fuses. All that pent-up stress and anger reaches a breaking point and they usually lash out in chat. They flame their jungler for missing smite, they flame their AD carry for getting caught out for the 7th time. They flame because they need to vent. But then they get punished for flaming, rightfully so. Technically, it doesn't matter how upset or frustrated or justified a person is, flaming is never the answer. In an ideal world that would be the case, but again, we're human. There's a limit to a human being's patience, and League of Legends does a really good job at pushing it to the very limit. They get chat restricted, which means they can't get their frustrations anymore. So what's the only solution? To take it out through their actions, to AFK the falcon, to troll games, etc. It's a negative feedback loop where 1 troll makes 2 trolls, which then makes 4 trolls, so on and so forth. And lastly, this is another minor point, but I still think it's worth talking about. For a lot of players, especially solo queue, and I'm unfortunately guilty of this as well, winning is fun. Even if it was a hard-fought battle and the enemy team was just slightly better, losing doesn't feel good. A lot of players want to climb. Progress is what brings gratification. Losing LP means losing progress, which means it feels like you just wasted so much time. League of Legends is first and foremost a game, and usually you're supposed to have fun playing games, but it can be really hard to smile and laugh when you spend 40 minutes on a single match and lose it. Consequently, that does result in a lot of sore losers. It's not one specific factor that answers why League has such a toxic community. It's an amalgamation of all of them. Sadly, I have a feeling it's only going to get worse. I'm normally an optimistic person, but when it comes to the League community, I don't think anything can be done to fix this, at least overnight. Even if Riot cracked down really hard on disruptive behavior and banned all the trolls and linkers, they could just make League counts and continue on about the business. Out of all the problems I've listed, the only thing that I think would cause actual lasting change on the player base would be problem 2, making the game feel less snowbally because that would mean both sides have a chance to stage a comeback even with a rough start. But aside from that, the other 5 problems are more human psychology than anything else, so that's not their prerogative. Anyway, the video is getting kind of long, so I'll leave it here. If you enjoyed this video, a rating would be much appreciated, and if you'd like to see more content like this, consider subbing to the channel. Also check out the description down below for links to my Discord and social media, as well as a playlist containing all my discussion videos if you'd like to watch more. But that's it for today, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for the next one. Take care.
What's up everybody, this is Master Ian Gamer. It's been a little while now since Overwatch 2 went live. Live, of course, with a little asterisk next to it. So I figure it's finally time for me to do my proper Overwatch 2 launch review video. Yes, I've admittedly been putting this video off just a little bit because somewhere deep down inside, I desperately hoped that Blizzard would be able to salvage some of the pieces of this Overwatch 2 launch and maybe not force me to be quite as critical as I'm going to end up being in this video, as you could probably deduce from the title alone. But lo and behold, we're coming up on a week now, and I think it's time for me to finally just admit my honest thoughts on Overwatch 2, and sadly, it's not going to be pretty. So let's jump right on in, and to start off, I would like to hone in on some of the things I think are genuinely good about Overwatch 2, namely the moment-to-moment gameplay itself. When you're actually in a match in Overwatch 2, the game feels phenomenal. The new engine makes everything run really smoothly, the visuals are fantastic, and at least for me personally, I've been finding that Overwatch 2 actually runs better on my PC than Overwatch 1. I have heard some conflicting reports regarding this, so I won't say that that's necessarily consistent with everyone's experience in Overwatch 2, but for me personally, the game runs really well, it feels really great, and the gameplay itself is just really fun. One particular aspect of the gameplay which I'd really like to point out is just the movement physics. As someone who plays a ton of Wrecking Ball, I can honestly say that Wrecking Ball feels a lot better in Overwatch 2 than he ever did in Overwatch 1. The momentum and movement of swinging and rolling around just feels so much more fluid. It feels like he's not getting interrupted by getting caught on random little pieces of geometry in the map anymore. And the character overall just feels a lot more fun to play because it feels like the engine and the map design itself is better accommodating him than anything we ever had in the original. And speaking of heroes and maps, the new ones we've had added with Overwatch 2 are easily some of the best new things we're getting with the sequel. I've been having a blast playing both Kiriko and the Junker Queen, and I could honestly see each of those characters becoming some of my most played characters in their respective roles. They feel, at least for the most part, to be fairly well balanced at the moment, and just introduce such interesting gameplay loops and fun mechanics that I'm having a really great time getting to play around with them. I'm sure Sojourn is also a lot of fun as well, but I personally can't play her for the life of me, so can't really comment on that front, but considering how many other people I've seen playing Sojourn, I'm willing to say she's just as fun in her own right. And with that note, having now covered everything which I think is genuinely phenomenally great about Overwatch 2, now let's move on to the cons. Overwatch 2 is a buggy, unfinished, terribly designed mess that prioritizes extracting every last penny from its player base over rebuilding goodwill in its community. The launch was catastrophic, Blizzard was clearly unprepared for the immense amount of players they'd be getting on day one, and the slow rate at which they actually began implementing fixes to these issues is honestly extremely disappointing. While some of this may be forgivable in terms of there being DDoS attacks on the day of the launch, which, you know, is something that Blizzard doesn't have a whole ton of control over, what there is no excuse for is the amount of missing progression many players ended up experiencing, especially those players who had merged some of their console accounts, and the fact that countless players were unable to gain access to many of the existing older heroes and forced to go through the first-time user experience, even though they've been playing since the launch of Overwatch 1, which is an issue that Blizzard themselves are solely responsible for. That has nothing to do with the DDoS attacks they suffered. That is Blizzard's own shortcomings blatantly on display. There is no reason that many players should have been missing that much of their own progression, cosmetics, and unlocked heroes for that length of time. And the fact that over the week following the launch of Overwatch 2, Blizzard has had to take down the servers for hours at a time on multiple occasions, and there are still people suffering connectivity issues and the inability to gain access to cosmetics they earned in Overwatch 1 or the new things they purchased through the Watchpoint pack is honestly nothing less than shameful. But moving past the launch day blues, let's talk about something which I think is going to be a more serious issue in the long run of things. Because not having immediate access to all your heroes or past cosmetics is likely a temporary issue that Blizzard will have resolved eventually, but this next issue is one which I can only dream of Blizzard ever resolving at all, which is the abysmal state of cosmetics in Overwatch 2. Simply put, the debut of cosmetics in Overwatch 2 with the launch of the game was as pathetic as the launch itself. The prices are ludicrous, the selection is severely lacking, and the quality of the cosmetics we do have in-game are honestly a bit laughable at times. For starters, let's take a look at the prices. These skins are stupidly expensive. $20 for a legendary skin, an emote, a voice line, and a spray is a ridiculously steep price, even for Blizzard's own standards. And while many of these newer cosmetics can be unlocked using Overwatch 1 legacy credits, this is a currency which new Overwatch 2 players will not have access to and never will, because there's no way of earning it in Overwatch 2. And even if you're a legacy Overwatch 1 player who has a decent number of credits left over, as time goes on, you're going to burn through these legacy credits as you continue to buy new cosmetics or new heroes as they come out, and eventually the vast majority of those legacy players are going to end up in the exact same boat as the new free-to-play Overwatch 2 players. We're going to be forced to spend a ton of real money in order to get any cosmetics whatsoever in Overwatch 2. And moving on to the selection of cosmetics introduced with the launch of Overwatch 2, it frankly baffles me just how little there is. Each of the 3 new heroes that were added got 1 legendary skin, divvied up into 2 color palette variants, 1 epic skin, and then several dull base level recolors. By comparison, in Overwatch 1, every new hero used to get 2 unique legendary skins, each with 2 color variants, thus adding a total of 4 different legendary skins, 2 different epic skins, as well as a number of the dull recolors that are the baseline. Blizzard has just straight up cut the number of base skins for new heroes being added in half, and this lack of content isn't even restricted to just the skins each hero gets. Looking at emotes, highlight intros, sprays, voice lines, all of these different categories have fewer cosmetics present at the hero's launch than what we've historically seen for new heroes in Overwatch 1. And this is in spite of the fact that all 3 of these heroes have been in development for years alongside Overwatch 2. So why is it that after all this amount of time leading up to the launch of the sequel, Blizzard can only manage to give us less than the bare minimum in terms of what we would expect for a new hero? Is it because a lot of those skins and other cosmetics are going to end up being exclusive to the cosmetics shop and thus won't be purchasable with our legacy credits and thus force us to buy Overwatch coins? We don't know the answer just yet, but I'm sure we're gonna find out. But the last thing that's important to touch on here when it comes to the cosmetics presented in the debut of Overwatch 2 is the quality. Overwatch historically has had some of the best quality skins and other cosmetics across the entire gaming landscape. We know for a fact that Overwatch has an incredibly talented art team and that they're capable of putting out some truly phenomenal cosmetic items, but we simply do not see that on display here with the launch of Overwatch 2. Looking at the Junker Queen and Kiriko specifically, the legendary skins on selection for these 2 heroes are, once again, incredibly lackluster. Starting with the Junker Queen, these are her 2 legendary skins, and this is her default skin. Can you spot 20 differences between these 2 images? Because I can't. Now, I understand that the legendary skin we see here is technically the one from her animated short, and that's essentially what justifies it being unique, but in terms of the actual design of the skin itself, it's literally just a reimagining of the default skin. It's as if Blizzard just tasked 2 separate concept artists to come up with an idea for a Mad Max post-apocalyptic Junker Queen, took both those concepts, made one of them the default skin and the other one her legendary skin. It doesn't even thematically change the outfits. They're both just wastelander post-apocalyptic queens. And the thing is, I wouldn't even really have an issue with this, since I do actually prefer the legendary skin version over her default, but the fact that this is her base legendary skin, and her only base legendary skin on top of that, not counting the palette swap version of it, is what really irks me in terms of Blizzard trying to push this as a full-price legendary skin. And Kiriko, let's take a look at her. The one base legendary skin she has in-game is quite literally identical to her default skin, save for replacing her skirt thing with a jacket. That's right, the pants are the same, the shoes are the same, the gloves are the same, and even her weapons and ability items are identical. The only difference between Kiriko's base hero design and her current in-game base legendary skin is the jacket. And once again, just like the Junker Queen skin, Blizzard is charging full legendary skin prices. Disgusting. Sojourn, at the very least, seems to have gotten a proper base set of legendary skins right here. The two old-school Overwatch organization skins she has are both really good, and do a great job of changing up her visuals, so can't really complain about them. These are good skins. I'll give it to Blizzard on this one. All in all, I have been blown away by how terrible the debut of Overwatch 2 has been in terms of just the cosmetics on this thing. This is the launch of Overwatch 2, the highly anticipated sequel that people have been looking forward to for 3 years. Not only do you hit us with a disappointingly low amount of new content, being only 3 new hero additions and 6 new maps, but then for those 3 new heroes, you barely give us any worthwhile cosmetics at the launch of the game. For the first week of Overwatch's existence, there is nothing to get excited for here in the cosmetics department. Maybe you happen to like one of these skins enough to buy it. Okay, cool. But considering all the other negativity that Blizzard has been suffering leading up to this launch, and certainly after the launch as well, with all the connectivity issues and whatnot, did Blizzard not consider it might be a good idea to give players something a bit more exciting in the game itself, in the cosmetics department? Like, really? Blizzard, we know your art team is a lot better than this. Give us the actually good skins and cosmetics. Now again, I'm sure come the first week anniversary of Overwatch 2, we're going to see the item shop start to get updated with those actually interesting cosmetic items, such as the Cyberpunk skins, which we've had teased a few times already, but we have yet to see their actual implementation. At the time of me recording this, we are still in the first week of the Overwatch 2 launch, and thus haven't seen the Overwatch 2 shop actually update yet, but I have very low hopes for the price of these upcoming skins, and I'm sure if these base legendaries are anything to go by, we're gonna see some pretty prohibitive prices on the skins coming up. Having railed sufficiently on skins and cosmetics in general at this point, now let's move on to some of the aspects of Overwatch 2, which make it feel legitimately unfinished. And the first one I'd like to hone in on is one which I haven't seen too many people talk about, but it's definitely something that stuck out to me, and that's the really low quality and sloppy visuals we tend to see with a lot of the new stuff added. Specifically, I'd like to focus in on the new default highlight intros every hero has ended up getting. These are the animations which you see play every time you select a hero on the hero select screen, and while some of these are pretty good, like Soldier 76's looks fine, and Symmetra's has the cool implementation of her teleporter and everything, but a lot of other ones look horrifically amateur. The two that stick out to me as being most egregious in this department are Reinhardt's and Zarya's. Both of these look so slapped together, so pathetically underwhelming in terms of what they actually show with the hero. Both feature the character just walking forward a little bit and standing there. Wow, so exciting. You don't see their weapons, you don't see their abilities, it's just, hello, I'm Reinhardt, or I'm Zarya, I'm here. I really hate that Blizzard went from these far more personalized intros we saw in Overwatch 1 for Reinhardt and Zarya, where you get to actually see their weapon and then take on a bit more of a unique pose as opposed to just stand with hands on hips. Because in all honesty, these new ones really look like they came straight out of a mobile game. I'm not even joking about this. A lot of these new default highlight intros legitimately look like something from a mobile game. The animations are stiff, they don't have that distinct punch to their movements, and the overall movements and motion in a lot of these are just blatantly inferior to their Overwatch 1 counterparts. Doomfist in particular is the character who really sticks out as being bad in this regard, because his Overwatch 1 default highlight intro was this very powerful stance where he's showing his gauntlet front and center while looking across it at the player to show you his strength, which is the gauntlet. But then in Overwatch 2, we see him just twitch his knuckles and then stare at the player. Like, what? This looks awful. It doesn't help that clearly these were designed without taking into consideration many of his skins, as the Doomfist skin we get in the Founders Pack completely obscures his eyes as he's staring at the player. Like, what? This is now his default pose on the hero select screen, and you can't even see his eyes because of a specific skin you're using. Once again, it blows my mind how poorly designed this is. Honestly, the overall impression I get from just looking through these new default highlight intros is that Blizzard just randomly tapped a bunch of animators of wildly varying skill levels to just do new default highlight intros for the existing heroes without giving any sort of overhead direction to the people working on these. Some of these highlight intros are excessively long, others are excessively boring and lackluster without showing any fine details of the hero themselves, and others are actually quite good. But the one big issue across the board with these is how terribly inconsistent they are. And overall, the one question I have in response to this is, why did they even bother doing this at all? Was anybody asking for Blizzard to update the default highlight intros of each of these heroes? Was this a decision that anyone felt was necessary in terms of the time and effort it must have taken to actually implement it? And was it really necessary to flat out remove the original highlight intros entirely? You couldn't have at least given players the option of going with either the Overwatch 1 or Overwatch 2 version. If that had been the case, then I would have no issues with the new ones, because you just don't have to select them. Have the old heroes act the way they've always acted for 6+ years, and just be fine with it. But no, now players who only have the default highlight intro unlocked are gonna have to look at these bland, newer versions, many of which are just flat out inferior to the old ones. And this is just one of the large-scale sloppy visual implementations we're seeing. There are countless little visual errors throughout the game, such as the abysmal anti-aliasing on the character profiles seen on the endorsement screen. Like, what? Did somebody just literally hand crop these out from a JPEG? Why is there that much of a white pixel line above the image? This looks awful. Not to mention the clunky, broken UI we see scattered all over the place, such as the player outline slider I discovered in the replay system, which cannot be clicked on and dragged whatsoever, and instead you have to find that specific single pixel over the number itself, which lets you select the number box and type in a value, as opposed to just moving the slider. And these are just ones I discovered on my own within the first day of playing the game. Go on Reddit, forums, or Twitter, and you'll find people talking about countless little issues like these that are riddling the entirety of Overwatch 2. The number of bizarre and terrible little broken elements like this is absurd, and is a blatant showcase of just how unfinished and unpolished this game really is. And in a similar vein, here's a quick list of a number of things which were intentionally removed from Overwatch 2, despite being implemented and appreciated in Overwatch 1. The in-match on-fire system, which no longer has any visual indicators, but the heroes themselves still claim to be on fire? Is this intentional? I don't actually know. Leveling up, aside from the Battle Pass, has been removed entirely. Now you get no sense of satisfying progression whatsoever, other than that slow grind to get new cosmetics from the Battle Pass, or I guess if you play competitive, you can look to level up your rank. End cards have been removed, thus removing yet another validating element that used to make you really satisfied when you'd see that you did really well in the recent match you just played. Now matches just end as if they're meaningless. Looking for group has been arbitrarily removed, despite countless people using it pretty regularly to group up and get bonus XP through playing the game, and maybe, if you're lucky, even meet new friends. And finally, being able to gift Overwatch coins to your friends. That's right, as much as Blizzard would like for you to spend exorbitant amounts of money in the game itself buying cosmetic items, for whatever reason they don't want you buying things for your friends. Why is this not a feature anymore? So in conclusion, as much as I have historically loved Overwatch and enjoyed the game to death and back, Blizzard has honestly pushed the game and the community and me personally to the point where I am legitimately disappointed in the product they have given us. In conjunction with all the other issues Blizzard as a company has historically dealt with, and even the other Overwatch 2 specific issues, such as heroes being locked in the battle pass, Blizzard really needed a win with the launch of Overwatch 2. They desperately needed to win back good faith with the player base and to incentivize people to get excited about actually playing the game. But instead, it looks like all we got was a buggy, clearly unfinished product with egregious monetization implemented into it, which is currently just barely being propped up by some actually good gameplay and mechanics in the game itself that on their own would be great and fantastic and I would love to talk positively about for the end of the day, but even those aspects are unfortunately being hampered by all the other issues presented to us in this sequel. If Blizzard doesn't jump on this ASAP and turn the game around in a direction that the player base is actually more inclined to enjoy, then I fear that this is only the tip of the iceberg in terms of Overwatch as a franchise undergoing a severe decline. This first week for the game may have been abysmal, but I do still think it's possible for Blizzard to pull it back. As I said, the gameplay itself, the moment-to-moment action when you're in a match, feels great. I'm so glad that we at least have that. The gameplay of the game itself, which at the end of the day is the most important thing, still feels good. And because of that, I think it is possible for Blizzard to bring this game back from the brink, but it is going to be extremely difficult and require some extreme changes on Blizzard's part. We've already seen them take a couple steps in the right direction, with them making changes to the phone restrictions, which originally prohibited a number of original Overwatch players from being able to play Overwatch 2, but they need to keep doing more. They need to find a way to compensate for this abysmal first week where countless people took days off of work, took days off of school in order to enjoy playing Overwatch 2 on the day it launched, only to be stuck in queues for hours upon hours. Blizzard needs to find a way to make it up to those players, or they are seriously going to lose those players forever. I can only imagine how many players they've already lost permanently just based off of this first week and the abysmal launch of the sequel, which means Blizzard needs to focus everything on getting those players back, incentivizing people to actually play the game and actually spend money in a good way by having reasonable prices for the cosmetics in the shop, and maybe even giving us a few more rewards for actually playing the game itself as opposed to just having to pay outright for anything. And they need to jump on doing this ASAP, because if they don't, there are plenty of other examples in the history of gaming where a company getting too greedy and too lazy with the development of their products has led to the company tanking. And while that may or may not end up happening with Blizzard, since they do of course have other IPs, the Overwatch franchise is currently in a state of crisis, and if they can't pull it back, it's only going to get worse from here. So at this point, I'm not willing to call the game dead yet. I still think it is quite far from that point, and there are still a lot of things I enjoy about the game, but Blizzard really needs to reevaluate the direction they're headed. And that does it for my review of the launch of Overwatch 2. I really didn't want for it to have to be this critical, but sometimes you're forced to be critical because that's just the way it is. I'm not someone who's willing to just lie about the way I see things in order to, give a positive spin on something when I don't genuinely think there is a positive spin to be given. So at the very least, I hope you've appreciated my honest thoughts on the content we've gotten and the overall state of Overwatch 2 at this point. I'd definitely love to hear your thoughts on all this down in the comments below. I can only imagine there's going to be quite a bit of bitterness from players who haven't really had a great experience thus far. But nonetheless, I would love to hear any and all comments you have down below. And otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, hit up that bell icon, and come join my Discord server to hang out and never miss any future Overwatch 2 news, updates, and content. And special thanks to my YouTube channel members who help make these videos possible. If you'd like to join them to earn some cool rewards, then just hit that join button down below. And otherwise, this is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day. What's up everybody, this is Master Ian Gamer. Overwatch 2 has been live for 2 weeks now, so today I wanted to do a sort of progress report type video where I focused a little bit on my thoughts on the game at this point, now that we've all had the opportunity to actually spend a decent amount of time playing it. I think it's safe to say that for most of us, that initial rush of new game excitement has largely worn off, which means we're now starting to get the real feel of how Overwatch 2 as a game actually ends up feeling. And while I personally am still having a blast playing the game, there are a number of further issues and concerns I have, which have only become more and more apparent the more and more time I actually spend playing it. So without wasting any more time, I'll jump right on in, and the first major concern I have going forward with Overwatch 2 is actually the number of maps we have. Now, Overwatch 2 introduced 6 brand new maps, 3 of these being for the brand new Torch game mode, and the other 3 being for the Escort game mode. And while all 6 of these new maps are phenomenal, I don't think they're looking like considering how many maps you actually using. As everybody knows, with the launch of Overwatch 2, the original Assault CP game mode was removed entirely, along with all the maps that were part of it. You can still find these custom game modes to play around with, but in terms of the quick play and creative experience, all these Assault maps are now gone at this point. Which means, when Overwatch 2 launched, we actually lost 3 maps. Now, technically, there are a total of 5 Assault maps, but given that Paris and Horizon had already been culled from the quick play and competitive cycle well before Overwatch 2 killed Overwatch, I'm gonna go ahead and give the game the benefit of the doubt and say that with the loss of 2 CP, we only actually lost 3 maps, since that was the actual map reduction going from Overwatch 1 to 2. But, unfortunately, it doesn't stop at simply losing Assault maps. For this first season, at the very least in particular, we also lost 4 additional maps, being Rialto, Havana, Blizzard World, and Numbani. Now, upon Overwatch 2's release, there wasn't any sort of official statement saying that this was being removed. I think there was some sort of statement talking about Numbani having a lighting bug, which is why it wasn't even on custom games that launched. But eventually, Blizzard did acknowledge that, yes, these 4 maps are missing, and that it's because of a seasonal map rotation cycle. Now, they did also mention that there are some sort of balance tweaks being made to these maps, and I'm assuming that's the real reason they aren't currently playable in quick play or competitive. If I'm being totally honest, I think Blizzard just at the last minute sort of came up with the idea of saying, oh, we're gonna have seasonal map rotations, as a way to sort of dampen the blow to admit that their game blatantly wasn't finished on launch, and a lot of the OG maps people love playing on aren't even there if you're in quick play or competitive. But that's just my theory on the matter. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that some of these missing maps also just so happen to have brand new PvE areas tied to them. But regardless of why this ended up happening, the overall outcome is that, simply put, Overwatch 2 has fewer maps in rotation on launch than Overwatch 1 did on the day it died. And that, I think, is awful. Now, if you're a newer player coming into Overwatch 2 for the very first time, you've never touched Overwatch before in your life, I'm sure you won't even really notice this being an issue. But as someone who's spent years and years playing the original Overwatch and am now going into Overwatch 2, I am starting to get pretty sick of seeing the same old maps over and over again. And it's not even a matter of me having an issue with the old maps individually. I think all of them are well and fun in their own right, but with the removal of so many old maps, it just feels like I end up seeing the same still existing maps over and over again. I would love being able to mix it up by going to Blizzard World or Rialto, but no, I have to wait until next season, which honestly just doesn't feel great. Again, who knows what the exact reason for Blizzard implementing these map rotation cycles are for each individual season, but all I'm saying is that I really hope Blizzard reconsiders doing this come Season 2, because honestly, at least when it comes to the quick play experience, there is no good reason to just exclude maps from the cycle. All you're doing is providing less content for players to play and enjoy, and it drastically harms the replayability of the game overall because of that. Also, literally, as I was editing this video, it was announced that Junkertown has now been removed from all queues due to some sort of graphical bug, and won't be coming back until October 25th. Yay. Now, speaking of missing old content, let's talk about another thing that happened to vanish fairly early after the launch of Overwatch 2, and at least at the time of me recording this video, has yet to make his return. And that is, of course, Bastion. Now, Bastion was removed from Overwatch 2 completely and utterly following the discovery of a bug which basically let him shoot off his ultimate indefinitely and cause pretty severe damage with it. And while I certainly understand Blizzard removing him from the game in order to fix this bug since it was a pretty big issue, the fact that it was only just announced in the same forum post I mentioned earlier regarding Junkertown that he'll finally be returning on October 25th, thus meaning that by the time of his return on October 25th, Bastion will have been missing from Overwatch 2 for more than 2 weeks, which is more than 2/3 of the entire time Overwatch 2 has even existed, is honestly just awful. And even if you're someone who doesn't care about Bastion, you never play him and you hate playing against him, so you're glad he's not there, the fact that one of the pre-existing heroes for Overwatch has just been removed for a very prolonged period of time reflects pretty poorly on Blizzard and their ability to handle technical issues. Now, I'm not going to pretend to have any extensive knowledge when it comes to correcting a bug like the one Bastion had with his ultimate, but the fact that it's taken this long for them to fix it and re-implement him into the game is very concerning. I understand Blizzard has a ton of issues they need to resolve at the moment, especially technical ones and bugs in the game and whatnot, but I would imagine that bringing Bastion back to the playable hero roster is probably one of their top priorities. And if that's the case, then why has it taken this long? This in conjunction with a number of other issues and bugs that have been in-game since the game launched, like challenges not tracking properly, thus preventing players from getting all their weekly Overwatch coins, people still having server connection issues where they get randomly kicked from matches or are unable to even log in the first place, horrific queue times, which are a rather curious one. If there's so many people playing at the moment, why are queue times so long? I don't know, that one's a bit suspicious if you ask me. On top of a number of other UI and graphical issues that are still plaguing the game itself, it really is just disappointing to see how slowly Blizzard is making progress towards actually fixing these things. If they can't even manage to bring back Bastion in a reasonable amount of time, then why should I necessarily believe they're gonna fix any of these other major bugs that are going on? I don't know, I think more than anything, it's just sort of disappointing to see this outcome. I think it reflects very poorly on Blizzard's ability to actually handle issues like this at this point in time, but who knows, maybe they've done something really fancy with Bastion while he was gone that we won't find out about until October 25th. Or for all we know, maybe Bastion himself was so disappointed by the launch of Overwatch 2 that he wandered back off the Black Forest to sleep for another 30 years, and Blizzard themselves had to venture after him to drag him beeping and whirring back to the game. Regardless though, it is disappointing to see that it's taken them this long to even give us a progress report on where he is and when we can expect him to be back. But moving on to another big thing that has been sticking out to me after playing Overwatch 2 for 2 weeks is the progression. Now, since day one, people have had their complaints about progression, namely because progression is now entirely tied to progressing through the Battle Pass without any sort of individual player levels or progression or cards or anything outside of just progressing through that Battle Pass to get those cosmetics. And while I didn't like it from the get-go, just based on the premise of how Blizzard was structuring it, I really started to notice just how detrimental it is to the player experience for all the progression to be tied exclusively to the Battle Pass. And I think one of the biggest aspects actually that stuck out to me about it is the amount of Battle Pass progression XP you actually get from completing a match relative to how much you get from completing daily, weekly, and seasonal challenges. As it stands, the bulk of experience you get on any given day will almost certainly end up coming from completing these challenges. The amount of XP you get from completing even just a single.
You guys see the jungle changes by that? They made it so it's harder to invade. So you can't save camps. You know, like how you used to kill like the raptor camp and then you left one raptor alive? That's gone now. If you kill the big boy, the small ones will die. And secondly, the enemy jungle camps are tankier than your jungle camps. So it takes a longer time to clear than the jungle camp. It's so stupid. I actually genuinely really fucking hate what they're doing with the jungle changes. It's really disturbing. You guys see the jungle changes by that? They made it so it's harder to invade. So you can't... Sari was popular, but Riot deleted her from League of Legends, not Pro. She's gone from everywhere. Have you seen her win rate? She currently has a 42.8% win rate in Plat. Let's see Iron. 41.4. Masters, 42.9. Brother, they fucking deleted her from League, man. Like, look at this. This is the worst win rate I've seen in my life. It is the lowest win rate right now, I think. Let's see. Sari was popular, but Riot deleted her from League of Legends, not Pro. She's gone from everywhere. Have you seen her win? There's a few things you need to think about when you trade in League of Legends, right? There's level difference, right? So we are high level. Then you think about HP, right? We have more HP, right? Because they're low. So yes, we have more HP. Wave. Do we have more CS? Absolutely. We have way more CS. Yes. So all of these conditions are met, which means that it's really easy to win a fight. And then other thing is like, it's also like CDs and stuff, like cooldowns and summoners and stuff, you know, it's also all kinds of things, right? But these are the key ones. These are the most important things. These ones are important, but not as important. Yeah, items as well. Items as well. There's a few.
I made a mistake here. I was wrong. I trusted this management team. That was ill-advised. Hubris here is extraordinary. And I apologize.
Okay. What did you get wrong?
Free cash flow. Last year, 9.5 billion. Now less than 1 billion. Yeah, let me say this about this. I made a mistake here. I was wrong. I trusted this management team. That was ill-advised. Hubris here is extraordinary. And I apologize.
Hey, how are you guys doing? Oh, I've got no sound. I've got a little sound. There we go. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. My name is Nick. Welcome to the video. I'm kind of getting excited about League of Legends because I think something like 4 more games. I'm not exactly sure how the math works for the current XP pass, but I am 2 levels away on the XP pass. I'm 2 levels away, which I think that's 4 games, because I think you get 200 XP for every game you win. So I think I'm 4 wins away, I should say, from getting that Prestige Master Yi skin, and I can't tell you how excited I am. So my next video, I'm hoping, will be the Prestige Master Yi skin. Like, I'm super excited to play with that and show it off. Super excited. All right, this could be a fun game. We're going against a Bel'Veth, which means she's going to try to invade a lot early, and we just want to leave it alone because Bel'Veth is an insanely strong early game. If you give her kills, she reminds me a lot of Elise. If you give her kills early on, she becomes a big problem for everybody in the game. So really what we're going to do is we're just going to completely avoid Bel'Veth. I'm going to start red, pad up, pad down, pad to blue. Still full clear, but we're going to avoid the obvious invade because people like to invade at your red. And in fact, what we can even do is we can watch it happen. Is we'll clear the red and then we'll throw a ward down here on our way back, and that'll tell me exactly what she's doing. I guess I'm saving my smite. I didn't mean to do that on purpose. I did not mean to do that on purpose. But, okay. There we go, okay. I guess that works. I mean, I kind of got leash, so it kind of works. I'm still trying to go for that fast clear speed, but I don't think I'm going to get it on this one. I'm kind of still warming up today. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention. Holy crap, I almost forgot to mention it. All right, so there we go. We can watch if Bel'Veth decides she wants to invade. We can watch her try to do it, which it's possible. I don't know. She might see that my Raptors are gone and figure out real quick that I'm at my blue. May indicate that she doesn't want to, in fact, invade. Oh, I'm having all kinds of trouble getting around to this thing. That is not how you do that, by the way, guys. That is not... That's not how you train that at all. I really screwed up. I'm really warming up today. It'll be okay. I've got slightly different runes than I normally use. I'm going Magical Footwear, and I'm going Cosmic Insight, which is good. Cosmic Insight is good because it lowers the cooldown on your items. And so what we're going to be using is Hex Tech Rocket Belt, which is really the only item you want to buy on Evelynn right now. Like, don't go anything else. It's kind of troll. Definitely don't go anything else. Do the double. Woo! We almost reset the frog, didn't we? Come here, come here, come here, come here. All right, I don't think we got invaded. I didn't see anything on that ward. If we did, I missed it. I don't think so. She's got her red. She hasn't even gone topside. Yeah, I wasn't wrong. She hasn't even gone topside yet. But didn't she come from my Raptors? She came and invaded this way, didn't she? I think she just ganked mid from that weird angle. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, I don't want to go bottom at all. They have a Leona and we have a Nami, which means you're going to get captured. You really don't want to mess with that. We're just going to do normal route. I have the boots, so I can't buy that, but I can definitely buy a Dark Seal, and then you can grab one of these, which is really going to help. You can grab this, and we'll just keep going. We'll just keep going on the jungle run. All right, the thing I wanted to mention, I am never, ever, 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 ever live streaming. I'm going to try not to ever live stream League of Legends ever again on my channel for as long as I can. At least not solo. Dude, oh my gosh, man. I apologize to anyone who is my live streams recently. I get so tilted when I play this damn game. And I feel like it's so much added pressure when I'm playing the game and people are like live watching. I get like this really additional pressure on it. I don't know, man. I'm coming up with excuses now. I just get mad when I play. It's kind of toxic and I don't like it, so I'm never gonna do it again. It's just not good. It's not a good impression. So I'm gonna just do the videos, and then like if I get toxic during my gameplay, I'll just not post that, man. Easy, problem solved. Yeah, man, my live streams are just no fun. I get mad. And I know it's not fun for you guys either. Maybe it's funny for you guys. Someone said it's actually funny how mad I get. I don't ever want to play like that, man. I'd rather just have a good time. And then I'd rather not have the additional pressure of someone like watching me while I'm losing. Like if I'm gonna lose, I'd, you know, I mean, if it makes for a good video, that's one thing. But otherwise, I've got to wait till 6. I'm really not able to gank yet. And mid is actually doing a good job because Bel'Veth has ganked mid now twice. And neither time has she gotten a kill, which means mid's doing a good job detecting it and preventing it. He's warded, so he knows which way she's coming. That's great, man. We actually have a competent mid. I'm happy about this. I could try... No, there's just no gank on bot because they have that Leona. You're more than likely going to get yourself killed. The better bet here is go ahead and get yourself to 6 because we're almost there. We're 2 camps away. This camp and this camp, I'll be at 6. We didn't get a crab. We didn't get a scuttle crab early, so we need 2 camps and I'll be at 6. Bel'Veth is going bottom. All right, so we're... Oops, my bad. We're pathing opposite her, which is great. And that's what you want. The fact that she hasn't gotten a kill early, I'm telling you, she's like an Evelynn. If she's like an Elise, not an Evelynn. She's like an Elise, the jungle spider. If she doesn't get early kills, she falls off, and she's not much of a threat to the team. If she gets early kills, that true damage is just insanely difficult to deal with. This camp is going to come up before my red comes up. There we go. Perfect. And so she just becomes a big problem. So, like, if you can ward and deny her kills like you would an Elise, if you consider them pretty much the same tactic, the same champion, you're going to be much better off just overall. The state of the game is going to be much better off. So she's so fed ahead, man. It's a tough time, dude. I've never had a good time against a fed Evelynn. And like, a fed Bel'Veth. Holy crap, I can speak. And it seems to be, like, she seems to be like a more early game advantage than even a Master Yi. Like, if your Master Yi gets fed, he can do some stuff. I don't know, she just feels even stronger than a fed Master Yi. I could be wrong about that, but from all the games where I've had fed Master Yi and I've played against a Bel'Veth, I'm telling you, man, if that Bel'Veth gets fed, it's spooky. Even as a fed Yi, she'll shut you down. That true damage is just super spooky. He's kind of got a big deal going on. All right, we need to start looking for kills here. It's the time of the game. Can I? You finish. I'm leaving. I don't have what I need to finish that. Damn, if I had my ult, obviously could have finished. I don't have the mana for it. That's super unfortunate. I'm just holding. There you go. All right, that'll remain pushed in. So when Veigar comes back to lane, I'll have mana this time. I didn't realize how low my mana had gotten. That was crazy. I really want to finish this up. Wow, I have mana. And I don't want to take very long doing it. Because Veigar is about to be back in lane. I'm not sure if she saw it or not. She warded for it, so she must have seen something. Yeah, we definitely could. It's an option. I really want to get some stacks. I don't have any stacks on this ring I've got here. And the ring without stacks is just kind of useless. Gotta get some stacks on there. We haven't had good gank opportunities. That Leona keeps that bottom from being a good gank opportunity. We could go against a Darius, actually. That Quinn seems to be pretty confident. I was not going to smite there, but then when I saw that ward go up, I said, okay, we're definitely smiting. I can cross, but I'm not going to get anything here, honestly, from this Veigar. He's playing back too far, which is smart. That's what he's supposed to do. Yeah, he's not pushing. All right, there's no gank here. We don't have our boots yet either because, again, I have this magical footwear. So we have to wait until 12. Just kind of delays everything when... That's the one thing I don't like about magical footwear is it delays your power spike because your power spike really comes from those magic penetration boots. But you can't get them. Sorry, it's taking me an hour to get there. Alright. Sorry, dude, I couldn't get both. I just don't have the footwear for it. 11:15, we've lowered our time here. Oh, I wish I could have gotten both. I just don't have the movement speed. I'm trying different runes. This is another set of runes that's pretty popular on Evelynn. It's all situational. I'm not as big of a fan of these runes as I am of that sorcerer combo. But, you know, you get these, it's okay. I like my Cosmic Insight. I like my, sorry, I have Cosmic Insight. I like the other one, the blue one. Damn.
The night is my veil.
Okay, he stayed. You delay. So slow. I don't have any of these. There we go. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we lowered. Did we get him? Yes! Thank God. Oh, I hate waiting for these boots. There we go. Now we're gonna have some movement speed. Yes! And we got another kill, so we got another stack on our Relentless Hunter, which is nice. So we're at 2 here. We're at 2 for our eyeball collection. Nice. These are really the only runes that you can grab now. Oops, sorry. I hit my microphone, so if you heard a pop there, I'll probably remove it and edit. But these are really nice runes for Evelynn, so they're really the only ones. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Domination's kind of gotten a little boring because I use these, if you don't notice, I use these on most of my champions, not Relentless Hunter. I'll go either Treasure or Relentless. Ravenous Hunter is another option, but it just doesn't feel as good right now. I used to get it when I went Gale Force Kindred, but Gale Force Kindred is not nearly as good as Kraken Kindred, and in most situations you want to go Kraken Kindred now. Just the way that durability buff plays out. True damage is just so much more valuable than movement speed on Kindred. So I mean, I pretty much just get those 2 domination runes. And the reason I mention that is because when they had Ravenous Hunter, that was a really compelling option to grab Ravenous Hunter, and a lot of the champions I use enjoy going Ravenous Hunter, but you can't do that anymore since they removed it from the game, which kind of sucks. I like having a lot of options in my builds and my runes. The durability buff, and I'm just gonna, you know, whatever, this is my opinion. The durability buff reduced the amount of diversity in items. Oh. So they think they're safe, but they're not.
Girls just want to tear the throat out with their teeth. An enemy has been slain.
You're not gonna capture me, dude. I'm gonna go invisible. You're not gonna know where I am.
It's better in the dark.
Then you're gonna die because I'm Evelynn, and when you get low, typically, when Belveth gets low, she turns into her little true damage form, that little squid scorpion thing, I don't know, manta ray thing, and she does some damage and keeps herself alive. But with Evelynn, as soon as she tries to turn into that form and take advantage of that true damage, you're dead, dude. It's too late. You gotta hit it early or else. So she's not doing a very good job picking and choosing when to go into that form, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that form is a choice. Don't have this.
Things I'm gonna do to you. Shut up and
We can try to draw him out. I'm afraid that might be a waste of my time. I don't really feel any need to grab that tower for you. Wait, did he die anyway? He died anyway? Oh, I didn't know he died. Who got the kill? I didn't get the kill. Did I get the kill? Wait, did I kill him and I didn't even realize I killed him? No, she got the kill for that, right? What happened? Did she hit a minion and... Did he get ignited? Form that little squid scorpion.
hard to get.
Now I can't. Okay. Yeah, I can't really do much. They didn't get dragon though, which is really the big defense there. Is we were just trying to prevent a dragon kill. Let's go back and let's grab Soul Stealer, because if they're gonna do stuff like this, I don't want to keep jungling and delay the fact that I can stack this. Seriously, you want to grab Soul Stealer like every game. Grab Dark, and if you can stack that Dark, you've proved that you have what it takes to stack a Soul Stealer. Don't grab a Soul Stealer and then change how you play. Just keep playing the same way. You've already stacked your Dark Seal, so you know how to not die. Just keep that going. Which I say that less for you and more for myself, because I tend to do that. I tend to stack a Dark Seal and then be like, ooh, here's my power spike, and then I start playing different. And it's not good. I start getting more aggressive, which is fine to be aggressive, but you don't want to get overly aggressive. You just want to play mostly the same. You want to keep that same tempo going. I don't like how they got the drag. I know I have the Hex Tech alternator, but I still don't like them having extra defense. I mean, you can grab that if you want to grab that. I'm going to keep jumping. I spend enough time running around that drag doing nothing. I don't really want to waste any more time. When you are now muted. Hurt them. Jungle makes the calls on objectives. Not fucking tops. It's the little power that I have in the game. I don't think the rift there changes our outcome for the games. That's mostly why I don't care. Let's grab Deathcap next. I feel like that's still a good item to have next. Belveth is obviously going to come from behind. Had to put an end to that real fast. Okay.
Unstoppable. An ally has
I'm gonna try. I think she kills me. Oh, good. Actually, that's very good. We played that very well. Just walk away. I've got more speed than her. Especially when she turns in that form. If I was still in that circle during that form, I'd be dead. Oops. Come on. I've got, you know what? I've got the Cosmic Insight, and I'm not using it. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's fine. He got electrocuted on me. That's fine. It didn't kill me, partly because I smited. Oh, she gets the kill there. There you go. Nice. Oh, I couldn't react in time. I think she's dead.
What's one more?
No. Okay. Let's blue's coming up, so we can grab. We don't need to stay in base for more mana. We can just grab the blue. Oh. I think after this game, it's only going to be 3 more wins. And that'll be awesome. I'm excited. I really want that Master Yi Prestige skin. Like, I'm super excited. Maybe too excited. Maybe a little too excited about it. Yi is like been one of my favorite champions that all time. Yi is like one of my favorite champions. It's definitely the champion that I've put the most time and effort into for the longest amount of the game. You know, he's one of my early champions. He's not my earliest. I used to play a lot of Volibear. I think Volibear was one of my first champions, but that was like season 3 or 4, a long time ago. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. I don't know where they are, so I've got my finger on my ult button. Okay, we're fine. Do I have auto ult? I don't want that. There we go. Oh, that's better. Ooh, she is not making. That's not a smart decision by her. She's already behind. She just put herself further behind. She thinks she's messing with me. No. You don't have the towers up there to do that. Okay.
Let's sneak around.
I don't think I can clear with Leona. Probably could have gotten some defense there, guys. Okay, you know what? I'll give my life for that. If you guys get 3 kills there, okay. You're gonna get 4 kills off this. No, they get 2. Alright, this actually is not good for us at all. Nice. Okay, never mind. I lied. That was kind of... No, not worth it all. It was worth until she died from that bleed damage. Alright, we need to start looking at drag here. In fact, I'm not going to get Sweeper. I'm going to get Farsight. I'm going to throw it behind the drag pit. So once I get mid tower, that'll open up mid lane so that we can grab Dragon here. So if you can push bot, that totally opens up our ability to grab drag. We get all the prio.
How about a kiss?
I don't have time, dude. You should have backed an hour ago. I don't really know what you're doing waiting. They're all coming. Just so you know. Just so nobody's mistaken about what is about to happen. They're all coming in. And I'm not playing it dumb again. I'm not going to die again. Piece of shit.
Lights out. Eyes in the sky.
I can kill this Kai.
That's it, love. Let your guard down. Shut down.
I gotta go.
Ooh, we can kill Darius, actually.
I need to watch you. You need to relax.
Got him. Oh, 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 oh. That's Leona. I don't want to mess with her. She'll kill me under a tower. I can't defend.
I like to watch.
Is he still coming?
Every kill is just
Nice thing is I have a little vision here where I can see them and they can't see me. That's spooky, dude. I don't like that. I didn't like that at all, dude. I didn't like that at all. Okay, she summoned that thing in base. That's cool. Kind of wasted it, I guess. It's gonna go top. You guys don't have to catch it, just... Oh. I was thinking I had enough for a full cap. I do not. I'm about 100, 200 away. Pretty close.
I don't break hearts. I just tear them from rib cages.
Alright, so this should delay it. There we go, there's Belveth. Alright, I need to wait for my ult and then I can easily kill her. Actually, why don't we just wait for team? And she doesn't have any vision here at all. She's so dead. There we go, right here.
I'm gonna do you.
God damn it. Not exactly what I wanted. I saw that fucker coming. And Leona. Oof. Oh, I wanted a little bit of that. What am I missing? Vigar and Leona. Those are the two I need to kill. I still need to get assists on. I'm not hitting any of my hate spikes. This is tragic.
Without pain.
I know, but I really want this kill. I really wanted that kill. Damn it. Sorry, dude. I don't know if we can, actually.
A little bit of heaven.
I guess maybe we can try. I'm out. And we get death cap. Cool. Okay, that's a big power spike for us. Especially since we're at 14. Oh, you know what we want? Let's grab a couple of these. That'll be fine. I don't need sweeper because as long as I'm in my shadow form, they can't see me. And I can detect whenever I get detected. So if they have a control ward anywhere, a red, not a big deal. I'll know. I'll know very quick. But this gives me a lot of power to see people from a mile away, which is good. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. I come with 2, bitch. I want that Leona kill so bad. And then who's the other one? Vigar. We should be able to get a Vigar kill. Does he have any armor? No, not really. Should be able to get a Vigar kill here. Leona doesn't know about me. She don't know about me. They may be coming around. We gotta be careful.
To fill the emptiness.
Yeah, I don't know where. They're doing something in that bush. I don't like that. Darius is missing. Darius is missing. We don't like the bush shenanigans. So. She'd be dead. I'm gonna get her. I want it so bad. Ah, you missed, bitch. Keep shoving that out.
Let's sneak around.
Should get this. Very good. I like the movement speed on Evelynn. Me, dude. Wait, did I get it? Sorry, dude. Your sacrifice is not made in vain. I'm leaving. I saved my Majoras. Ooh, dude. Oh, they're hungry for it. Ooh, they're hungry. Come on, shenanigans right there. Okay, Vigar's my last. So if I get the Vigar kill, I have full stack on my Relentless. Ooh, I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it. I can't do it from this angle, though. I have to wait until they push in. There you go. Now I can get it.
You need to relax.
Oh shit, I'm dead. No, I'm not. He doesn't know where I am. Woo! Dodge it. Oh my gosh! What the fuck? Whoa! Too close, too close, too close. All right, I'm gonna get a little bit of this. Maybe Lich actually for that movement speed. Ooh, I like that actually. Ooh, maybe MOBA. Nah, MOBA might be good. I don't mind either. I don't mind either Lich or MOBA because both give you movement speed. So this gives you a little more power on attack, so you can burst them a little easier. I do like Lich. All right, we'll go with Lich maybe, or MOBA. Because MOBA gives you more sustain. I don't know, man. I can't decide. They're both good for different reasons.
slain. An enemy
Wars are messy. My parts are clean. what I do. My enemies. I'm not here to make Magic's fine. Steel's better. How about I just eat this?